Hello folks, welcome back to accountinglecture.com. Today we'll learn suspense account. Now, suspense account is a situation where your trial balance does not balance. And what is a trial balance? It's an accounting tool and technique to check the arithmetical accuracy of your T accounts, the ledger balances, whether these T accounts are correct or not. You check through your trial balance. Yeah, this is very common in every organizations to have some mistakes, and through trial balance we check, what are the errors, is there any mistakes, how can we find those mistakes. But some errors are not shown by trial balance, so even if it happens, your trial balance still balances. For example, omission, commission, principal, reversal entry, these are the errors, 6 errors not shown by trial balance. But there are a few errors that are shown by or revealed by your trial balance, and that causes your suspense account. What are those errors? Number one is partly omitted. Yeah, you purchased, you recorded on the debit side, forgotten to write on the credit side. Your trial balance will not balance. It will cause a suspense account. Partly original entry or partly transcription. For example, one entry for both side debit and credit, it should be 98, but you have recorded 89, one side debit, 98 correctly, other side it will not balance. Your trial balance will not balance, and it will be a reason of your suspense account. Recording twice in either debit or credit. Yeah, we'll be doing quite a few questions. Overstated and understated in your trial balance, written higher or lower itself, the whole figure. These will cause your trial balance. This is a worked example given. Let's read it. The bookkeeper of a business is unable to balance the trial balance for 2011, let's assume 31st December, very old, as errors cannot be found quickly. It said quickly. For the time being we can't find it, but maybe later we can find, and the difference is shown in a trial balance. Look at this. This is a trial balance, and this is the debit side, they added up with 100,000. The credit side is short of 150. For the time being we are balancing it by 150, making it 100,000 both side. And as soon as we have done it, we are going to open a suspense account. It's a T account. It could have been either side. This time we found the suspense account on the credit side. That's why it is written on the credit side, trial balance difference. Then you will be given in exam, or generally worked example or practice questions, a few errors. You'll correct those errors and find the suspense accounts, which will go into this suspense T account right above here. Okay, let's read a little more theory. This examples are taken from AQA AS book, written by David Cox from Osborne books. I'm thankful to them. They've given me the opportunity and authority to use their books in my tutorials to teach you better accounting. Okay, let's read it. The detailed examination of the bookkeeping system is now made in order to find the errors. Some errors are found. They are corrected by the means of a journal entry. Yeah, there we go. You have to correct it through journal entries. Yeah, it's just like your ledger, debit, credit knowledge. We will use it here. Journal entries will balance with one part of entry being either a debit or credit to a suspense account. What they meant to say is here, you will find the obvious error, will correct it, and the opposite would be a debit. Not quite get it? Let's work it. Yeah, let's keep going. Yeah, when we'll work out the example, we'll be more clear. In this way, the balance on the suspense account is eliminated using the above suspense account. The following errors are found. All right, we have given with 1, 2, 3, 4 errors. These errors we will correct through journal entries, and we'll take it into our T account. Top and both sides of our T account should equal. Let's read it. The first one, it says sales account is undercast. See, overcast or undercast. If your sales account is shown lower, it's a credit entry, credit account. You make it higher by making it more credit. Okay, let's quickly do some journals, and journals are like debit and credit. Number one, I want to up my sales. So I'll start with, we always do the debit first, but this time sales, I want to make it higher, 100, and we are in suspense that whether bank or cash, what should be our debit. Or just a couple of minutes earlier I said you need to make the obvious error correct, which is obviously here your sales is under cost. It's wrong. You're making this obvious error correct by making it credit, and the opposite account is your debit suspense. 100. Okay, done. And this one we will take into our T account. Suspense debit. On the debit side is 100, and the detail we write opposite account's name is sales. Moving on to the second one, a payment. Make sure you're paying the money down to a payable. A Wilson 465 has been recorded in the bank as 56, partly original entry. 65 is correct, you need to assume, although they never told you, but 65, nothing wrong. A Wilson is correct. If you'd have done normally, how would have done it? You've done bank credit 65, A Wilson debit 65, but this time bank was credited. Have a look, a little bit of T account. Bank was credited by 56, but that's wrong. How do you make it correct? You write the other side, you make bank debit 56. Now these two are cancelled by writing it down. Then you write bank credit 65 to give the original entry back. And these are the items and the things we can take in our journal account and journal entry. How do you do it? Number 2, we said to eliminate the effect of 56. It was credited before here. Now we are debiting it. So bank debit 56, your suspense 56 credit. Yeah, one account is corrected, opposite is suspense. And then we credited our bank. So we credited bank 65, suspense is debit 65. That's how you correct it. Okay, bear in mind you can do the difference. I think the difference is £9, and you could have made your bank down here by 9, and suspense debit by 9 still is correct. Either method you follow would be fine. Now both of these suspense, one suspense credit, one suspense debit, we'll take into our suspense account, T account. 56 credit, 65 debit. We said 56 credit and 65 debit. Both of the name is bank and bank. No dates given, or you can take that last date. You always take the last date of the month. First two are done. Number 3, telephone expenses of 55 have not been entered in the expense account. So this is partly omission. Expense account not done, other account nothing said, it should be fine. So it's pretty simple. You do expense debit and suspense credit. Yep, let's keep doing it. Telephone expense debit 55, just double checking. Yep, and suspense credit 55. So let's take the suspense into the suspense account. On the credit side, telephone expense is the name. You write the opposite account's name, 55. Very quick. And 3 items are done. That's how you keep correcting the obvious errors opposite your suspense in the journal, and you take your items into your suspense T account. The last one. Stationery expenses 48 have been debited to both stationery account and the bank account. Wait a minute. Now, a stationery account debited, that's fine. You're purchasing stationery debit, fine. But your money going down, bank should be credit, but we didn't do it. Rather, we did bank debit as well because both are debited. Now let's quickly draw a small bank account, just like this one we have done over here. Okay, so this 48, it should have been credited, shouldn't it? But we didn't, rather we did debit. That's wrong. We need to cancel it by writing credit on the credit side. So this is cancelled, no effect. Then you put the original entry. You write the 48, which the first time should have put on the credit side. So you write on the credit side. So basically you have to do it twice. So number 4, I'll start with the bank first because I want bank credit 48 and suspense debit 48, and yet again bank credit 48 and suspense debit 48. Do debit suspense 48 and 48. That was for stationery. Yep. Stationery. If we add up both sides, my big calculator, and both sides are 261, 261. That's your suspense account.